So hi, welcome to Good Noise Podcast for the First in Flight. We're gonna ask them some questions today. I'm gonna start. So, what inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
Oh, we could take kind of half of that. I think Pat's a good explanation for the band name, but I think David and I can take where the start was. So basically, David and I were coming out of a metal band. We both have roots in that he's been playing in punk and metal bands since high school. I was doing all metal bands, all same thing, high school and even afterward. And then we were in a metal band that basically broke apart after a few years. But we always wanted to continue to play music. So we always liked other stuff aside from metal, but we also loved the kind of vibe that metal gives, the edge, the movement, the mosh pits, that stuff. But we've liked pop. We love 80s electronic, Depeche Mode, all that kind of stuff. So we wanted to figure out a way, what's a good way to kind of bring all that together. So in 2015, we saw Walk the Moon live for the first time here in SF, and we realized they were doing kind of exactly that. The crowd was, dancing, moving. The music was obviously energetic, but it was also edgy in its own kind of way, right? It was it's catchy, it was melodic, it's everything that we liked. And after Dave and I saw that, we realized, like, hey, dude, whatever this is, is kind of what we want to do. And obviously we heard of Walk the Moon before that, right? We've known their music, but that live experience really motivated us to kind of start a band, something kind of in that vein. Obviously not exactly like them, but capture those elements. And we feel we have definitely done that and continue to do that. But that's definitely one of the biggest roots of it. So, we get aggression from metal, but then other elements, and Pat and Max definitely also bring the other elements as well. So.
All right, that's really cool.
All right. Mm-hmm.
The band name was originally came up with after I joined. We were at a restaurant and we found the words "First in Flight" on a wall, and we were trying to brainstorm a good band name. And for some reason, those just rolled up the tongue really well. So we went around and asked some people how it sounded, and people seemed to like it. And I guess what really convinced us was there was this idea that, I had moved to Chicago to be out there, so I had flown out there, kind of changed my life a bit. Max originally was from the Midwest as well. So there's this sort of theme about, flying and sort of, leaving your comfort zone and being away from home. And then we kind of liked the way it sounded in terms of First in Flight. We were always trying to push boundaries, try to kind of break out a bit. So it's not a super deep story, but it was a really cool name for us, and it really stuck very quickly. And that's why we decided on it.
And just for clarification, there wasn't just like First in Flight randomly on the wall. That'd be kind of weird. It was a bunch of license plates were on the wall. It was like a collage of license plates of all over the United States. So, and we just, for some reason, Richard pointed out that he saw First in Flight, and it flowed right off the tongue really easily. And we like the the acronym FIF too, so as we call ourselves sometimes too. So that's more clarification on that, because I thought it would be kind of weird if we just saw like First in Flight on the wall, like, yeah, we're gonna do that.
That looks good.
Yeah. So for the record, I named the band.
He owns the copyright.
Oh no, can't give it to Richard.
So if they try fighting me, I'm gonna threaten them with that. I'm gonna take the name somewhere else.
Oh my god! Start a whole new band. Same name though.
It'd be like Queensryche.
Okay. So congrats on your newest release, Scarlet. How do you guys feel about the response to it so far?
It was great. One of my favorite things about when we release songs is that that I'm sure you guys know, but that whole midnight release and how people react to it. It was by far our quickest growing song, just in terms of streams, views, etc. And it's a really fun one to play live. No one knows that yet, but we've been overall really impressed with the reaction, just in terms of how people like the song, how they like it when it's played on live streams, and overall the streams and how people reacted to it. So yeah, we've been really happy with it. And like I said, nothing beats that first midnight drop when people are all commenting and telling us how much they love it, and dubbing it their favorite song until the next one comes out. So it's been pretty good so far.
All right, that's cool to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me a little bit about your writing process and how it's changed from that first release until now?
Ooh.
It's changed obviously a lot, right?
Yeah.
When the band started, Pat was the last person to join, right? So very early on, it was just David and Max and I, and like we would write stuff in his garage, just instrumentals, doing like various amounts of like rewrites of stuff. Now we still do the same, but we've definitely refined it a bit. But it's definitely gone through like just numerous changes. David, you wanna?
Yeah, we've tried a variation of things to kind of figure out exactly what's the right formula to kind of write a song. And everybody in the beginning kind of like started to have their input, and then we kind of realized there were like too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. So what has been working really well for us for these past few releases is usually Pat and myself get together, and I write most of the music instrumentally, and then Pat will then write the melody on top of it and lyrics. And then after we have like a rough structure and arrangement, that after that is when we actually then present it to Richard and Max, and they either do a few changes or they don't, because sometimes I write some guitar parts as well. But usually that's kind of what has been the best process so far for us, because it kind of like streamlines the process a little bit. We kind of like to think of it as kind of like the artist and producer kind of thing, because I focus more on arrangements and producing, and then Pat can then just like really hone in the melody and the lyrics and make sure that the song is as tight as it can be.
Okay.
Okay.
Sick. So where was your head? Oh no, go ahead.
No, and then lyric writing, that's usually Pat. He obviously he does the bulk of that, but then Max, David, and Pat actually sit down and usually go over it. So even the lyrics, as much as it is Pat, it's actually a pretty collaborative effort. Minus me, I don't care much about lyrics. But we've had sessions where literally the three of them are going over Pat's lyrics line by line, word by word. How does that feel? What does that sound? That kind of stuff. So it can get pretty in depth. It all kind of just depends on like how the song feels. There's those songs that just feel natural. It just writes itself. On those kinds of songs, you don't have to do too much, but there are ones where we've really taken the dive down. Chopsticks and Champagne is an example of that. I remember when they were all sitting down doing various forms of that. So
yeah, I'm not like like Richard says, I don't really care too much about lyrics either, but I do care how they sound. So like phonetically, like if some word just like sounds weird, I'm like, Pat, you got to change that. It just sounds weird, and then we'll change it to some other word, because I'm very particular how words sound and how the texture of the words are, because we come from metal, where we can't understand what the hell they're saying, but we like how they're saying it, and that's kind of how I listen for when Pat is singing a song. It's like, how does it sound when he says the word, not necessarily what the word means, because there's synonyms, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
I care about the lyrics.
Good to know somebody here does.
At least one person cares. That's good to hear.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
All right.
So where was your headspace while creating Scarlet?
Tricky.
Oh.
You want to go, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, music-wise, if you compare it to other stuff, it is kind of one of the more different sounding songs. Not like drastically different, but that's also when, like previously, when you guys asked about like how we, when it comes to the release, I was curious to see what the reception was. And it's been very great, so that's good to know. But yeah, we were trying a few different things. The original skeleton of the song was different than how it was now. But Pat was giving his flavor of his jazz background. Like the song is made up of largely seventh chords, which is something I've incorporated in some of our songs, but not to the degree Scarlet was. So I think we were definitely, really feeling that the indie vibe for this one. If you really listen to it, it definitely has that kind of vibe the most out of all of our songs. So I think music-wise, we wanted to do something like that, and then have an anthemic bridge that you could sing along. I know Pat definitely wanted that, and we were able to throw that in there. But he can explain to you lyric-wise, though.
I think the theme of this song comes back to our band. We had, you asked what the headspace. That's a great question, by the way. I like that much better than like what were the lyrics like. Great question. Great question. I think my headspace was, we were a band. We had been together 3 years. We had just gotten off a huge U.S. tour. We had accomplished, one of many, but one of our dreams. And there was this sort of feeling of, okay, how do we keep this going? How do we stay to a successful band? How do we continue to push our music career in the right direction? We had been a band around long enough now that we had seen plenty of other, whether it was local bands, national touring bands, bands that we had opened for, fall apart because of, you name it, finances, just kind of running out of steam, bad managers. And so when I wrote the song, I didn't write it out of, it wasn't like technically a factual song, but I was starting to put together a theme of what I had seen these bands go through and what we were trying to avoid. Scarlet, in theory, is a fictional figure or a fictional band that is trying to, that has already seen their downfall as an artist. And as I was writing, it was almost a reminder to ourselves that, hey, we did this great thing. That's awesome. We're proud of that. But we want to be musicians for a long time, not just a good time, but in theory, both. But so when I was writing the lyrics, I was trying to say, like, what do people fall for? Bad management, focusing on money, focusing on things that don't necessarily, help, like streams. Like, streams are super cool, but they don't pay the bills, like that kind of idea. And when it was the finished product, I was really proud of it. I mean, it's something that I guess only so many people can relate to a degree, but our headspace was there, and that's why the song kind of became what it was. And I think as we, try to push forward as a band, I'm not going to write more songs about that, but that's going to continue to be in our headspace of like, how can we continue to be a band that tours and, provides good content for our fans and allows us to eat food and all those things. So that's where my headspace was.
Wow.
I like
All
that.
right. That's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
So, what bands or artist influences do you think you can hear the most in your music?
Oh, that's different. That's different.
Yeah, that's different than asking what your influences are. Like, what do you hear?
Guys,
we could be here all day for that.
Well, here, I'll go first. Mine is very simple. I have grown very accustomed now. My favorite band of all time is Red Hot Chili Peppers. And now I've been people have commented more and more how my vocals have sounded like the vocals of their band, which is Anthony Kiedis. I do a lot of rapping, and I do a lot of his inflections and some of the ways that he sings his vowels. For the Red Hot Chili Peppers, every vowel is an E. If it's way, it's way-y. Like, that's how he does it. So that's one that, for me, the influence that's come out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the most obvious is, I think Walk the Moon was definitely there in, like, earlier in our other recordings. I think as we've progressed, I don't know, I think that's, like, the beauty of it, that we've kind of, like, started morphing into our own little sound. But I do hear, I still hear Duran Duran in there, like, from, like, the early days.
That's been a big influence, yeah.
Yeah, but even, like, some metal bands come to mind too, like some of the more metalcore bands as well. I mean, Richard can definitely chime in, because we do have some heavier moments in our music that are derivative of that nature of music. And if
like, 2005 era, like, Fall Off My Valentine. That's been the root of, I've been a big fan of them and David too, and just throwing elements of that kind of mid 2000s. Just heaviness is what we get, because we've been getting a lot of fans reaching out to us over this year, telling us what their favorite bands are. And you hear bands from Motionless in White to Falling in Reverse, and it's kind of great that we're getting those fans. The fact, again, why we started, you have fans, people that like that but like other stuff. So we sound different to a lot of different people, which I think is really great.
Yeah, I agree, and I appreciate your question, because I feel like what the four of us are going to hear in our music is our influences, right? Which is kind of funny. It's a different way. It's the question you didn't ask, right? And like, what we think influences us is what we're going to hear in our own music. But the beauty of it is what we've created is, like, other people hear a ton of different stuff in it, and it's honestly kind of entertaining, the variety of things that people say they hear. I had a buddy of mine just a month or two ago. I think it may have been when Scarlet came out, and we were getting more streams and stuff on Spotify. He congratulated me on that, and then he said, "Man, have you heard The Weeknd's new song, Blinding Lights? He took your sound." And I was like, well, I don't know. I didn't think we sounded like that, but you know what? I can kind of hear it, And so, like, yeah, I mean, you can hear a lot of different stuff in there.
Definitely. Wow. Okay.
And Glory, next time you're at a show, you'll notice when you come in, Richard will just be hammering some, like, metal dark chords, and then we'll break into our pop sound. It's every time. The doors on our entire tour. That's because we were the opening band, right? So we were the first up there, and they'd open the doors basically as we're like barely finishing our sound check, and I'm like putting my mic away, and like David's like getting off, and Richard's less like chung 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 chung, and it's like, and everyone's coming in like, whoa.
Holy shit.
What does this band sound like?
It's fun. It's fun to scare people and make them think that's what we're gonna sound like.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're the opening band, so they don't necessarily know us. They're like, oh God, what's gonna happen? And then we play the songs that you know, and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool, we're good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good. I
like
can
they
vibe with
come
that.
in, they're like, "What the fuck?" And then they're just either very excited or very disappointed. It's one or the
Right.
other.
I mean, actually, yeah, you either like us or you don't. I think
No in between.
we for sure are a lot heavier live.
Oh, yeah.
And we've had various people say that to us. They're like, I didn't know you guys would be this heavy live. Because, I mean, our influences really do show up more in our stage presence and how we perform on stage. We're not still on a stage.
Ever.
We're loud, we're rock and roll, and we headbang, we do
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, Pat's doing freaking flips, you know,
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there's video. There's video.
There's
Safe.
a video.
So
There's
people are
video.
like, whoa, I don't, like, you guys, like, sound different on the record, and live, you're, like, way heavier, and it's an experience, and we kind of miss it.
I've never missed one, so don't worry. All is
Okay, good.
all is safe. All is safe.
He's a professional gymnast.
That's true. He is a gymnast.
Oh, that's fire.
You love to
Alright.
see it.
Thank you.
So, is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while going through your music?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
What is that?
One thing that we've always kind of, at least for me personally, is that I feel that I've always liked music that has empowered me.
Mhm.
And I think that, I mean, heavy metal does that. That's why I like a lot of 80s music that was very epic and like powerful. And I definitely want our music to like make people feel empowered to go do something, change their life. Like Pat says, you know, quit that job that you always that you've been hating on and stuff. You know, go do something that you really want to do. Or when you're driving down the street, you know, blast us to, you know, motivate you to do something. That's really what I think the band is striving for in terms of what we want our listeners to feel.
I got this. Glory, Shane, I want you to walk with me, okay? All right,
Okay.
walk with me here.
I'm
Okay.
walking.
So picture yourself now. You're 16 years old, and well, okay, just for this example, you're a 16-year-old boy in high school. You're
Okay.
not great with the ladies. You're really good at guitar. You've got a dream that you want to be a musician. You know you can do it. Your parents don't believe in you. Your friends don't really buy it. They kind of show up to your shows half-assed, but you know. Then you put in the First in Flight song, and you hear the energy, the punch, the lyrics talking about an escape, about chasing your dream. It gives you the energy to go and be the best musician possible and chase that dream, because now you've got someone cheering you on. You've got someone telling you, go get it. And that's what you do. Walk with me again. Now, you've got a single mother. She's in a bad relationship. She's stuck in a job she doesn't like. But you know what? Every night she dreams about all the things she could accomplish with her beautiful baby without that person and that job. One day, she listens to us in the car. She walks into her job. She puts her resignation letter on the desk, says, I'm out, walks out, and starts her new life. Why? Because First in Flight told her to. That's what we want people to do. Thank you.
Wow.
Can-
Okay.
Well, we also hold
I told you we were making a movie here.
we also hold no liability for anyone quitting a job that they
Yeah.
needed, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you tell that Pat does our marketing?
That is the first time someone's been like, okay, so walk with me,
Walk
and then
me.
walks us through a scenario of what they want
Exactly.
people to feel. I
Oh my
love
God.
that.
Yeah,
Glad you
Entered interviews in. Never happened.
That was one of the best answers to that question we've ever had.
Honestly, yeah.
Thank you
Fantastic.
for that.
Right there. For the record.
Yeah,
For the
see,
record. right there.
I warmed you all up to that because
Yeah,
you can't
that
just
was-
like
that was a movie right
you
there.
can't just accept that.
David
Oh my
was not
God.
kidding when he joined and said, we're going to make a movie today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're doing over here. So, are there any new projects in the works? 'Cause you guys have got a bunch of singles. I need to
Always.
know. Tell me.
Always. Whoa.
Max, when are you filming?
Let's see, taste
Actually,
the
what's
drink.
I was about to say,
He's
just,
gonna leak the wrong info. We're like, oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hold on,
shoot.
leak
I'm
everything.
supposed to be out of the band.
What? If I leak the wrong stuff, I'm out of the band. Shoot.
Yeah,
Um,
we have
First
a
in Flight is-
checklist.
General
Remember?
idea.
We have a checklist.
General
Remember?
idea.
well, I was listening to our music and it empowered me to leave the band anyway. So.
It's like, wait, that
Gonna leak
yeah.
everything, and then this is it.
oh
Callback.
my God, dude.
It's my resignation. No.
There you go.
We got drum machines. Cool.
Ouch.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, guys, there's a lot on the horizon, and I'm not exactly sure what we can share, so I'll need some help. But we're always working on new music. We're always writing. we have a cache of, I mean, you could call them singles. It's just songs that we're always working on. And
Yeah.
to be honest, a lot of songs start with just like a number because they're just one of the, songs in the
Many.
set in the cache, right? And so Scarlet probably started as song 3, and other songs started as
song 4.
it was song 4. Was it song 4?
Wow.
Okay. And we called it song 4 for so long that like that's what we know it as still. But we have a song 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like just all those kind of hanging around, and so we've got those, and we can release those, but then we can also use those to pitch for certain opportunities. But what else, guys?
I mean,
JHS endorsed.
Oh,
yeah,
shoot, there's that.
I'm even milking that. Gotta put that in there.
Special thanks to JHS Strings for providing us with the biggest strings of all time.
Right now, in all seriousness, right now the current project is we are making new music. We don't have any release dates set. We're working with a brand new producer from New York who worked with bands like Maroon 5, Motion City Soundtrack, Weezer. He's a platinum producer. So super excited about that. He's very, very cool.
Shout out to Mark.
yes.
Shout out to Mark.
Shout out, Mark.
Shout out, Mark.
The issue right now is that obviously with COVID, we're running into issues getting into the studio. We've done a lot of it ourselves, but that's sort of what I would call the hiccup right now. We are releasing, I don't know when this is dropping, sorry, but we're releasing a new video this Friday.
Yo.
I guess say the date, Pat, just in case. Like the date.
Yeah.
I don't know what the date this Friday is.
It's 26.
28.
It's the
28th.
28th.
Okay.
I'm going
Nice.
backwards.
Thank you.
August
On
28th.
we are releasing a brand new acoustic video for a very special song. And from there, we're working on this new music through the end of the year. We've been working with our manager, Tate, who, Gloria, I know you know.
Of course. Yeah.
Shout out to
Doing a
Tate.
great job. He hooked us up with the producer, and he's helping us pitch this music to important figures in the industry. So I think right now what our kind of motto is, we're continuing to release content, new videos. We dropped one a couple weeks ago. We're dropping one on Friday. And hopefully the wait will be worth it when we have a very, very large announcement later this year.
Okay.
Wow.
Hyping it up.
Okay.
I like
That's
it.
a good way to put it, yeah.
All right. So, speaking of Tate, how'd you guys get signed? How'd you guys get signed to Dark Humor Management? How did that happen?
So
Yeah, Pat, how'd that happen?
No, not that way.
We're ready for another movie scene here.
Yes.
Picture
all right,
this.
picture
I'm
this.
ready to walk. Okay.
Picture this. I'm on my phone. I see Tate. I see. No.
I
We make
don't-
eye
I
contact.
DM Tate and tell him to sign us, and he goes,
I
okay.
don't
Okay.
Honestly,
know
you're
there's
not
city
that
number
far off.
3, but that makes 2 of us. So what happened is we were under a different management at the time, and we had someone I knew who reached out to Tate. I actually was just looking to get in contact with Tate and make a new friend and continue to connect in the industry. And I got word about Dark Humor Management. And so I gave him a call, and we had a long talk, and I said, look, we're not really looking for new management, but we'd love to talk with you. And he kind of gave us a really great pitch. And from there, me and him just related. We were very similar. It was a great conversation. He told us about some of the things that we could accomplish, maybe some of the things we were missing, and how he could help us in ways we couldn't help ourselves. And we had like an hour-long phone call. I brought it to the guys. It was a pretty quick decision from there. I mean, all of this happened, literally the conversation to the switch within 48 hours. It was very quick.
Wow.
Shit.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really, really convincing pitch, and we were in a position where we thought there were new opportunities available. So, but it was quick, and we haven't looked back, and it's been fantastic ever since. He's been really terrific.
We've been stunned. Yeah. I mean, we took a little bit of a leap, and his pitch was great, and he has come through. I mean, he's delivered on everything he said he wanted to do for us, and he's great. So shout out to Tate too.
Very cool. Yeah. So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years?
I don't know. Hopefully, Tokyo, Paris,
Oh, yeah.
London.
Japan for sure.
Yeah.
Japan,
Yeah,
let's go.
I think right now the goal. Well, we can all kind of say, but like obviously COVID makes things a little tricky. But I don't think we'll be around in 5 years. Right now, we've established ourselves as a nationally touring act and someone who is, at the moment, working with different record labels and trying to figure out a long-term plan for the future. I think in the meantime, we see ourselves as a band who is going to continue to provide great music, great video content, great live stream content, and hopefully in 5 years be doing some of those more major markets, major tour festivals, major music festivals.
Mm-hmm.
But not losing ourselves, not losing the personalities that we share with the fans, not losing the video content that we create that creates a stronger community, not losing the live streams, the free merch that we give away, all that stuff that kind of makes it a big community. So that's how I see it personally.
Okay.
Yeah, what we really want out of this band is really just we want to make a career out of it, right? You know, we want to have longevity. We don't want to have like a quick burn. We want to have like a slow burn up so that, you know, we can survive for a long time. And I mean, right now, you know, we're doing a lot of self-financing. Eventually that won't be a thing. And we want to make this, you know, a career so that we can, like Pat said, keep on providing this great music, great content, just because it makes us happy and we want to make other people happy as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Richard?
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, kind of honestly the same as what both Pat and David said, and I guess on top of it, it's just continuing to do the thing that we love, doing the thing that I love. You know, we got basically what motivated us to kind of start it, and you know, just keeping that flame, keeping that fire going. You know, it's you know, just kind of like with any job, you know, you always want to ask yourself, you know, do I want to continue doing this after some time? You know, like 5 years is a good mark for that, you know, and I think as long as we're always learning and challenging ourselves, you know, there's no reason not to stop. And this band is continuously doing that from the very beginning. And what I like about the industry is that's always going to happen. You know, there's never going to be this stagnation. It's never going to be just this rut, you know, as much as like tours can have the same kind of like, oh, it's the same highways, that kind of stuff. It's never the same thing twice. It's always something different. I come from that industry. I work at Levi Stadium. It's like that all the time. You know, when you're meeting with people, it's different people each time. It's different everything each time, no matter how similar it is. You know, our national tour, every show is different. Our next tour, every single show will be different, even if it's the same venues. So I think just that alone continues to suck me in to continue this. You know, and again, we're playing for all these different people, you know, changing their lives. You know, we've had so many fans reach out to us online and in person telling them how we changed their lives. You know, when the first fan told us that, you know, they showed us the tattoo they got of one of our song titles, it was really mind-blowing. And we've had numerous...
Shout out to Mads.
Yeah. Shout out.
Shout out to Mads.
Mads, we love you.
And Ryan was second. Shout out to Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan, we love you.
And Keen was also second.
Right, but see, like I said, it was, you know, the people that came right out with it and still continue, like that you know, that's something that I see people doing for the big bands, right? So the fact that people are doing it for us now to be on the other side is you know, it's such a mind-blowing thing, and you know, we love to be that kind of impact, continue to be that impact for people. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. That was very wholesome. On a less note, for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music and go straight to death row. So, if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
There's only one drink for the band. There's only one drink for the band, and it's milk tea.
Oh, yeah.
You already know.
Milk tea, yeah.
That's true.
Solid taste.
Meal
okay.
that. What?
My last meal. Man, I will do. Let's see. I am gonna do crab legs.
Mm-hmm.
I will do crab legs with salted butter.
You're
And
gonna be
you
there
guys
for a
can hear
long
this, so I
time
will
eating
say
it.
Yeah.
Well, I know I'm gonna just savor it. And then,
He said, walk with me. He said, bite with me.
Consume the food with me. Take a walk. Let's go.
Good.
I want you to picture crack the first crab.
Oh my god.
And then I would also have a nice steak with it. And cheesy potatoes with that steak. Thank you. That is my meal.
That's surf and turf and dirt right there.
All right.
Surfed.
Yeah, I think I might go with a nice steak, some broccoli, and like rice pilaf. You know.
All right.
It's kind of hard. I'm kind of three-way tie, either between spam and rice, chicken adobo and rice, or chow mein / pancit. Those are the foods I grew up eating. So
Why not all of them?
Well, I was gonna say if I could do all of them, I'll just do all of them.
Yeah, just go over all of them.
Might as well. So yeah,
Exactly.
I choose those.
Solid.
Max.
I was gonna say I would need a whole day of food. I would need multiple meals, but I guess for the last meal, So I say this a lot, so the guys see this coming. But there is a chili, and look at Pat's like,
Oh boy.
Oh, this is going.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio, and there's a chili in Ohio called Skyline, and it's really bizarre to everyone who hasn't had it. But you pour the Skyline over noodles, and then you put a lot of cheese on top of it, and it's really bad for you and really delicious. So I would have that, and I would probably have, growing up eating there, I would get a Sprite with that meal. So I guess if I'm having that as my meal, I'd need the Sprite.
Okay.
Yeah, we toured in Cincinnati also last year, and he showed us there. His family took us there, and I totally see what you mean by it's not good for you. It's not, but being that we've never heard of it, tried it, it was the greatest thing I've ever tasted in my life. I got a shirt, I got a gift card that I'm keeping, for the memories. But it was quite amazing. So I understand him completely.
Shout out to Skyline Chili.
There we go. Endorse us, please.
For your
Sponsorship.
And while we're at it, Wawa.
Well,
There you go.
yeah, dude, I want Wawa to sponsor us.
So, if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
One
Can you repeat that?
fictional world.
If you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Someone else start.
Oh.
That's a great question. God, you
Um,
Hill Valley, right here.
Oh.
Back to the Future.
Taste.
The Blue People Avatar movie world with the, with not the other Avatar, the one with the blue, the James Cameron one.
Yeah.
'Cause they get to
Like
fly
the
around
cat
and stuff.
people. Yeah.
I would live in. This is such a boring answer. I totally would live with friends in New York City and
Aww.
and chill with steal Rachel from Ross and it'd be great. That would
Wait,
definitely-
Pat. If you had to replace a Friends character yourself, which one would you replace? Would you take off the show?
Well, I'd have to replace Ross, not because I don't like him, but Joey and Chandler are so funny, and Ross usually brings problems, so I just also be funny, and then it'd just be super funny. I could duet Smelly Cat or something. It'd be great.
Wow. Yeah.
I'd probably, I don't know, maybe because I grew up with that. I choose the Harry Potter universe.
Yo, what's your
Ooh.
house?
Gryffindor. I mean, that's.
Okay.
I feel that's the one I mean, it's kind of
What's
cliche,
your
but
house?
Bro, I'm a Hufflepuff.
I
Okay. I see.
Alright, so Gryffindor, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can respect that. So
But yeah.
I have the honor of asking the last question, and every person we've spoken to has said it's the most important question. What's your
Uh-huh.
favorite color?
Oh,
Thank you,
Black.
Max.
Black.
Oh, black.
For sure.
Alright.
Taste.
I mean, that's like the absence of color, but
Yeah. Yeah.
and it goes with everything.
goes
It
with
does, yeah.
everything.
I'm gonna go red.
Red.
Although I wear a lot of black with David, but red.
Black, red, solid.
For mine, it's actually orange.
Ooh.
I've loved it. I've always liked the way it kind of looked, and most orange flavored stuff, like orange candy, is my favorite. So if we're eating gummy candies, if David or whoever is eating gummy candies, I was like, hey, give me the oranges, or give me some of the oranges.
Haribo peaches, bro.
right,
They're
so
Yeah.
orange.
Orange food and orange soda is good, but orange clothing is not.
Not
It-
it.
Yeah.
I think it can be a little hit or miss. A lot of it, no, but I think there's a few shirts where I'm like, you know what, it's really orange, but I'd wear it. Especially if it's a band shirt, and I love the band that much, I don't care. But yeah, it's a lot of the stuff is kind of like.
How did I not know that? I had no idea. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you did pick New York with friends, so I mean, basic ass.
My favorite color would be blue. Go blue.
Blue.
All right.
Solid.
Sonic.
Of course.
Sonic.
And Sonic is blue.
Sonic,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan, Sonic, all the good stuff. Yeah.
All right. So as Glory said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, David, what do we want to plug?
GHS Strings, best radio company in the world.
Oh my god.
Since 1968.
I think 64. I don't know. They've been around for a long time.
Shoot.
When is this dropping, Shane?
Oh God, probably a month from now.
Okay, a month from now. It is the future. It is September. Still COVID. Okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
We are First in Flight. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/firstinflightband for new video content. Follow us on Instagram at First in Flight Band for new live streams every 2 weeks. In addition, check out our brand new website, firstinflight.com, where we'll be dropping brand new merch. It's probably already out by now, so go check it out. We'll see you guys soon. If you're not on the email list, get on it now, firstinflightband.com/email. That's where you're going to get secret tour updates, behind-the-scenes content, merch discounts, and more. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Ah,
Wow.
That was a great
That
pick.
was
I love
good.
that.
Thank
can
you.
you tell he's done that before?
Yeah.
Telling you, we're making movies here. We have scripts ready to go.
Oh my
Love to
god.
see it.
I'm just here orchestrating.
Why didn't I
it.
get one?
Yeah, why don't you guys send the script to us?
We like our actors to improvise.
Alright.
Well, thank you for sitting down with us, guys. This has been First in Flight, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.